I think I finally have this figured out. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I've done an update. I'm sorry about that, but life gets in the way. Been out of town. Plus, these two buildings have taken a long time to design, especially when you lose the file on that one and you have to redo it. Ugh. But I have been playing around a little bit on the track plan just to try to finalize it because I really want to get this section done. And some of you guys suggested that I turn this building around and make the track on this side instead of over here, because the original plan was to come off this siding here, run the track roughly along this line, and building goes right about here. The box cars would be on the front, which technically I do like that a little bit better. However, because the road was set to go behind, which is really narrow, I didn't have any room for the trailers to kind of squeak in there. Having it this way, the trailers can fit, which is fantastic. It gives me plenty of room that I can do some, trees and shrubberies. A shrubbery! And whatnot right there. I like that. I have a siding here for, flatbed cars and whatnot. And all I have to do is take the edge of my pavement area right here and bring it to about there. And then all this will be a pavement zone. Okay. And then I can still continue on bringing the track over here, having my water feature somewhere around there, a bridge about there. I think I have this essentially figured out. So it's time to start cutting some track and making it a little more real. And then I can bring it all up, put some cork down, and make it permanent. Let's get started. We have our track laid down. I feel like it flows pretty good. You can see it fans out into our paper mill. This is for unloading, pulp or sawdust or wood chips or whatever, and that gets fed into these silos here. This is a fluid transfer station, so your chemicals, your acid, water, whatever, that gets unloaded into that building, and then your waste chemicals can get loaded back in and send tankers out. And then, of course, we have our distribution in here, so box cars, and that sends our paper out to our fantasy world. So I think it works pretty good. I now need to find the center of this by poking little holes with a pin or whatever, just so I can see where the center of the track's going to be, so when I pull it up, I can lay my cork road bed down. This cork bed is a cork sheet from IKEA. It's an 1/8 inch thick. It's like $7, so it works out pretty good. But I am going to cut it probably about here, and I'll square that off maybe out to here or something. I don't know. And I'm going to fill the rest of it with foam sheet from Woodland Scenics, 1/8 inch thick. You can see I've been doing some testing with colors, and I think that's going to give a good looking pavement. So anywhere there's pavement, obviously we have a parking lot that has to be in here, and then there's going to be a little bit of a roadway in here, whatever. I'm going to use that foam. I'm not going to do the whole thing foam because I know track sticks to the cork really well. Plus I can use pins and they hold it down firmly. So where there's track, I'm using cork. Everywhere else, I'm going to try to use foam. If there's not a lot of scenery to go under it, because I'm not sure scenery is going to glue that well to the foam. So we have the cork down, the foam down. I've glued down the track. It is wired to the track, just not underneath. And I have that flowing all the way out to there as well. That's all done, with the exception of these 3 tracks here and this track right here. This track is because I need to finalize this structure right here, because I'm going to have to cut out a section and glue all that down. So I'm not quite ready for that. So that's got to wait. And right here, because we're going to do a bridge and culvert system. And as you can see, I have designed and printed a 4-inch girder bridge. I think that looks awesome. So that's going to float in under here. And then I've decided to do the culvert system under these tracks right here. And I have designed and printed a 54-inch culvert that has a 50-degree extension on the side, 50-degree angle. And that will go somewhere in here, and then somewhere over here. These lines represent the road that's going to go over to our paper mill, and I was trying to see what I like better, 2.5 inch width or 3 inch width, and I'm leaning towards the 2.5 inch. So I like that. And then I need to figure out the angle of where I'm going to put my culvert system, because in real life it would be, straight across. So I'm thinking something along the lines of, maybe that angle or so. I'll figure that out, and then I can pull this track up, glue down some cork, and then I can start cutting away the foam. All right, I got that figured out. You can see where that culvert is going to go. I'm going to have to cut the cylinder part back a bit because I'm not going to see it, so it doesn't really matter. And that will go in line with this one. So I like that. I'm just going to use a Dremel and a cutoff wheel, put on some gloves in case I nick a finger. Well, that's our rough position of this, so I'm going to start cutting away the foam. I'm going to do it carefully. Oh yeah, that's looking all right. Now for this side, I want to make sure that my bridge is exactly where I want it to be, which I feel like that's pretty decent. I'll still be able to line up. And here, we're going to cut exactly 4 inches. So I'm just going to use the bridge as my guide. That looks pretty lined up as well. So we will cut this out. Actually, I might go in here more like that. And this one, we're going to take it out like this. Okay. These little tabs on the bridge right here, that is built in, so you just have to place your bridge on the flat part of your foam board or whatever surface you're using. And then this surface here is the exact track height. So now I can put my track in. Like so. There we go. That is correct there. So, man, fits really good. gonna pick it out, obviously. Oh yeah, it's fitting pretty good. All right, our water feature is carved out. I may still go back and flatten this out and do some blending. I did widen the mouth right here. I think it looks a little bit better. I did carve out these edges right here with a chisel. It gives it a jagged rock kind of look. Did the same thing in here. But I am going to go back in here and smooth this out a little bit because it's just really a ditch. And I wonder, should I leave it as is and just paint over the foam, or should I put some plaster in there and smooth it out a little bit? I can also do some carving of the plaster too. Not too sure. I have to figure out what kind of paint I'm going to put down here because I want it to be a dark kind of water. You can see I built these little blocks for the support of the bridge. And they do actually hold some of the bridge up, but also I have those tabs right there which are carrying a lot of the load. If anybody buys that, you can cut those off if you want. It's up to you, but this way it's very easy just to get the height of it. Cutting those out are a pain because to get them square, tough. But I wanted them foam because when they're painted concrete, they'll have this like porous look to it. And that's what I want. I think they'll look great. A little bit of work to do on them still, but yeah, I'm excited about that. As for everything else, I think we are one step closer to doing some scenery because, man, I would much rather be doing that than track work or laying foam and cork and doing wiring. That stuff is boring. So I really want to do some scenery. And in the upcoming videos, I'm going to paint some of these 3D structures that I've been building. And I'm excited to do that because it will certainly change how these look tremendously. And if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, hit the like button. And as always, thanks for watching.